Gledhill, head coach Kori Satterfield, Payton Panzeri. Coach, just give us kind of a quick recap of the season, the fall season opening tournament.
Well, I think we started off with a bang. We had some great scores, led by a freshman and three of our upperclassmen. Unfortunately, due to a scoring error, we had a DQ, which dropped us from fourth to seventh. But overall, we played really well the first day. Struggled a little bit the second day, but ended up strong overall.
Hunter, for you, just talk about your first experience with college golf. I know that first day kind of ended sour, but just talk about your first collegiate tournament.
It was a lot of fun. It was more fun than I expected, and it was less pressure than high school. I feel like actually, and it was fun to talk to all the other girls from all the other teams, and yeah, I just had a lot of fun.
And then Payton, for you, kind of the veteran, one of the veterans of the group, just talk about how the first tournament went for you.
I think it went really well. It definitely tested my mental stability. The second day, I started off a little rough my first hole and battled and shot one over through my next 17 holes, which was huge. And so I'm super proud of myself and how I performed, and I'm really excited to keep the season going after that.
And then, Coach, I asked Coach Sullivan the same thing. What are maybe one or two of the biggest things you want to see from tournament 1 to tournament 2 to tournament 3, kind of throughout the fall? What are some of the things that you really want to see the girls improve on?
I would say consistency. Like Payton said, we had some big holes, and then we recovered well. Preferably, we avoid some of those big holes and some of those rolling disasters. But overall, the girls played really well. I think that mentally, I think we can pull it together. We're gonna compete with the rest of the teams in the RMAC very well.
Questions?
So you said, obviously first college tournament was fun, but other than that, what do you take that, okay, this is what I need to work on for that next tournament? And because, now it's going to get serious.
Yeah, I learned a lot about how to make sure my score is right. That won't happen again. But yeah, it was a good learning experience, and I feel like now I know what to expect and for the tournaments to come. So.
But you had the score higher than it actually was, right?
Yeah.
So you weren't cheating. You were
No.
just didn't add properly, right?
Yeah, it was hard to be. It just taught me like the importance of being honest and how you got to be honest, and that's the game of golf. So.
Yeah. And same thing. What do you learn from first one and say, okay, this is what we've got to do next week?
Honestly, the only time you can really learn for the next tournaments is being put in the position of a tournament. Like, we played qualifiers, but it's never going to be the same as like teeing off the first tee shot on a tournament day. So being put in that position and being comfortable and getting comfortable with the uncomfortable, like I said, struggled the first or the second day, first hole, and being able to flip around. And like in a qualifier, I wouldn't have been this, like the nerves wouldn't have been as high because I'm playing with my team. I'm comfortable. I'm playing courses I know. So I think being put into an uncomfortable position and becoming more comfortable, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And Coach, a lot of times, great first day, then we struggle the second day type of thing. How do you kind of help them realize it's got to be that consistency that's going to get you to where these kids want to go?
We've been working a lot with our mental game and talking about that. Last spring, we were leading some tournaments after the first day and really wanted to, keep the momentum going and not overthink what we're doing tomorrow. And this tournament was kind of the opposite. We had a great first day, but then it kind of cratered, and try and keep their momentum up and positive, and think about it's one stroke at a time, one hole at a time, and not think about yesterday or the last hole, and just keep the positive going. I believe that made a big difference both days.
Yeah, and you kind of came in and hit the ground running a little bit last year, and everything seems a little more okay. Now we understand where we've got our program going now. Is that kind of a fair assessment?
I feel that way. Yes, I started last November. We didn't have a spring schedule, so I built a spring schedule in a couple of days, figured out where to go. Then in the middle of the spring schedule, we got a tournament snowed out, and we ended up hosting one. So we played on fire the whole time, and still finished the season really well. And my goal this year is to continue that momentum. Work on, I feel like all the girls are hitting the ball well. And we're just now we've got 7 new players. So that's been trying to build the team and new players and old players that are in new positions. And building that it's been fun, but it's definitely a growing, evolving situation continuously.
And I asked the guys the same thing. A few weeks down the road, you've got a nice little road trip, nice little perk. How much is that going to ratchet up the competition and make that lineup? I mean, nobody wants to be here waving goodbye as everybody else jumps on the plane for Hawaii. Does that kind of help you guys really hone in on playing good golf?
I guess I can go first. Yeah, I mean, we found out in the summer that she sent out our schedule, and I was scrolling through it, and I did not think we were going to Hawaii. And I immediately texted her, and I was like, there's no way we're actually going to Hawaii. So it definitely was like put into my mindset, like, okay, like you've got to work to earn your spot. Like nothing's going to be given to you. So, I mean, but I kind of want to treat that as every other tournament. Like I want to travel, so I have to put myself there. But going to Hawaii is a pretty big perk, I'd say, if I were to go.
Oh yeah, I think I just got to put in the time and the practice, and usually the results will pay off. But yeah, the thought of Hawaii it's a good motivator. So
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt in recruiting, right?
No, it's been great in recruiting. Everybody's like, you're going to Hawaii?
Yeah, and Scott said, "Hey, I intend to try to keep that on the schedule and work at that because that's just going to help this program more and more."
Absolutely. That's definitely a goal, and it's a perk for the players. It's a perk for the team. I've never been to Hawaii, so it's definitely a perk for me too. So I'm as excited about this as the players are. You can definitely see, the players are talking about it a little bit more, talking to the recruits about it. They're like, wow, you're going to Hawaii, it is a great recruiting tool.
Coach, I remember at the triple play, I heard so much about that. Like the girls were saying like, oh, I hope we get to go. I mean, it had to feel good. Like, once that was set in stone to just see all the reactions from these girls, like, oh my God, we're actually doing it.
Absolutely. My phone lit up. All the girls going, we're really going. And I'm like, yes, but we also have some, we need to do some serious money raising, but at the same time, they're motivated both in scores and in fundraising. So we've got some ideas for some fun stuff, maybe some indoor tournaments, maybe a poker tournament, something different, and call the parents and ask for a little bit of funds. But just to be there is going to be incredible.
Mm-hmm. And then just the other question I had with now that you've had kind of a full summer to get going, after taking over in November, have there been any things that you've really focused on like, instilling on the girls and really kind of driving home?
I think after kind of reviewing the spring season, and Payton might be able to add to some of this, but I think a lot of what we're going to work on and we've been working on is the mental game. That was something that I brought in right after I started. And we saw it, I think, in the first tournament in Phoenix last spring. We struggled a little bit mentally this last tournament, but it was also 2 weeks in, and we haven't gotten into the full swing of we have a whole mental training program. We work on it every Tuesday, and obviously when we practice and play. But I think that's something that I'm working really hard on, because if we can keep the mental game going, the physical game. These girls are great athletes, and they've got it in their pocket. It's keeping their heads in it most of the time.
All right. Question of the day. Favorite local Grand Junction restaurant?
I got mine. Taco Party.
Okay.
Which is in downtown Green Junction. Super good.
I haven't really been to any restaurants yet, but I went to one that was on the corner over here, and it was really good. But I don't remember the name.
And I've lived here for my whole life. And I would say the place I eat the most is probably Pablo's Pizza, because my other job's office is at 3rd and Main, and I walk up the street and get a slice of pizza and a salad several days a week. And their pizza's amazing, and so are their salads.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We were debating Pablo's or hot tomato.